National School Lunch Week, and many of you have, and the rest of you need to, right? Absolutely. We would love to have all of you serve as our VIP guest servers the week of October 15th through 18th, and again, help us celebrate what it is we're doing for children. Obviously, the education we provide in Sarasota County is phenomenal, but I want to always mention that when we feed hungry children and we nourish them at breakfast and lunch and the supper programs and after-school daycare programs and obviously our summer program as well, we're making a huge impact on this community. So all of us in Food and Nutrition Services, thank you for the support the school board, the superintendent, all of our community has given us over the number of years. I was thinking, this is my 34th National School Lunch Week, which is a little crazy, but yeah. It's crazy. So please come out and join us. I'll be serving at Oak Park that week. And Steve Dragon just told me I guess I'll be serving at Southside as well. So I guess that's the way it's going to be. So I thank you so much for all of your support. And once again, encourage everyone to join us during National School Lunch Week. Thank you.
Mr. Robinson.
I don't think that it's right that she counted the time when she started in kindergarten at 5 for her 34 years. So I think that's a little bit deceitful. But I just want to reiterate that it may be lunch program, but she does serve breakfast. She's there over the summer. Even though she's tricking the kids and taking all the sugar out of the chocolate milk, she does a wonderful job, absent the fact that she's taking the sugar out of the chocolate milk. I'm not going to forget Beverly.
Thank you again and also for Matt, truly, last but not least, because you are a tremendous asset to our district and the work that you and your team do. So thank you very, very much. And you will be seeing, I was completing the sign-up sheet today, so you'll see that soon. That concludes our special presentations for the evening. Moving to the superintendent's report, Dr. Bowden.
Yes, due to the length of special presentations, I'll keep my remarks extremely brief. Wow, okay.
I did not clap for the record, no.
I did.
First of all, as is our tradition, I do want to welcome our officer on duty, Sal Giannino from Tuttle Elementary School. Officer Giannino has been with us before, so I'm not going to read his biography, but I do want to tell a short story about him. I had the opportunity to be out at Tuttle last week as our local Rotary clubs were presenting to the 1st and 4th graders a book, and I want to tell you, those kids at Tuttle were outstanding the way they came into the room. They came in, all of their shirts were tucked in, their hands were behind their back. There was only one time that their hand left from behind their back, and that is when they saw their school resource officer, and so they took their hands from behind their back to give Officer Giannino a high five, and I think he high-fived every student in both the 1st and 4th grade. But it just goes to show how our officers have integrated themselves into our elementary school. He is part of the fabric of Tuttle, and we are 9 weeks into this, and I just want to thank you for your service to all of our students, but particularly at Tuttle Elementary School. At our last school board meeting, we spent a considerable amount of time honoring our custodians. We did our White Glove Awards, but we would be remiss if we didn't pause today on National Custodial Workers Recognition Day. So I did not bring them back for another presentation, but I certainly did not want today to pass without recognizing the outstanding efforts of all of our custodians across our staff. You know, we run a lean operation. We expect a lot of them, but when you go on our school campuses, we have some of the most beautiful buildings in this state, and it is because of our custodians, and I didn't want today to pass without recognizing their efforts. I had the opportunity to speak with each of you individually today about a conversation that I had with the president of the State College of Florida. I do want to let you know that subsequent to each of our conversations, I did have an opportunity to speak to Cynthia Saunders in Manatee County, and I just want to let you know that she and I are in complete agreement. We'll be working very closely together to minimize the impact of the State College of Florida's decision to end dual enrollment on the campuses of our high schools. You know, what's so important to me is we have students who don't think about college as part of their future, and we have guidance counselors who say, we have a class right here on this campus, why don't you just give it a try? And it is their introduction to college level coursework. It literally is the planting of a seed. Those students are not going to travel to the State College of Florida. They're not going to enroll online, but because the class is on their campus in a familiar environment, they take a college course and they're successful. And what it convinces those students is, I can do college level coursework. And what we know is that attempting a college level course in high school increases not only outcomes in high school, but completion rates for associate degrees and bachelor's degrees. And so the commitment from Cynthia and myself is that we are going to work to make sure that the decision of the State College of Florida does not impact our kids. And I will keep you posted as we work towards planning for the 1920 school year. The decision by the State College of Florida keeps in place dual enrollment on our high school campuses for the rest of this year. And so I do want to reassure the public that there is no impact on their students' current schedule, but it may impact course selection as we begin. Believe it or not, seems like school just started, but we will begin working with our juniors and seniors on course selection here in December and into January, February. So it's important for us to solidify what our course offerings will be at the high school. I've charged Mr. Cantis with working to find new partners, both public and private, who want to work with us and making sure our kids get that college experience. So there'll be much more on that topic, but I just wanted to give you an update since our conversations throughout the day. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Zucker.
I have no doubt that you will find a way to have dual enrollment on our schools. And it was terrible. Once I saw the college application come in from South County,
Collegiate High School.
yes, from the collegiate high school, I knew this is where they were heading. So this was not a surprise to me. But I also know that they don't know how dedicated you are and how tenacious you are, and that you will find a way for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just add to that. I appreciate you taking the time to make the comments. I know it's no secret. I've worked with a lot of families who, I know Mr. Cantis knows this very well, and the dedication to really trying to offer opportunities for dual enrollment. And I am disappointed with this, but it's not our governing body, not our decision. And my biggest concern was any students who are on the trajectory to complete. Obviously, that will impact them. And so, while we are very fortunate in Sarasota to have multiple articulation agreements with post-secondary institutions beyond just SCF. One thing that I always say is, while I appreciate SCF offering this, and there is an opportunity when you have dual enrollment, there is an experiential component about being on campus, so I don't deny that. But my concern would be just ensuring we can think outside the box for transportation in any great program, but if the transportation isn't there, that is one of the biggest disconnects. So as we look ahead, whatever we can do as a board, I think that it's a great opportunity for our families to be exposed to graduating with an associate's degree. So I don't want to lose momentum on that, but it is what it is, and we'll make the best out of it. So I really appreciate it. Thank you. And that concludes Superintendent's report. Moving on to hearing of citizens. I have one card. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to speak. When the timer flashes yellow, 1 minute remains, and you need to begin to summarize and stop speaking when the buzzer rings. Please note that respect for divergent viewpoints and civility will be shown at every board meeting. Whether you agree or disagree with a speaker, you should listen politely and respectfully without making any sounds of approval or disapproval, including clapping. As I said, I have one card. I apologize. I believe this says Lewis.
Neveron.
Neveron? Okay.
Yes.
I apologize.
In the Sarasota High.
Yes, Sarasota High School. I heard that. And I am a graduate, so I'll get ready here. So my 3 minutes will be worthwhile, I hope. Good evening. Good evening, board. Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm Lou Navarro, born and raised in Sarasota, graduate of the class of 1962, 46-year retired teacher from the Lee County School District. I was here about 5 months ago. I spoke about throwing out at Sarasota High the state and conference trophies. They even seemed to have thrown out the plaque that the late Eddie Howell had made for us. He was in our class. I can't get access to the yearbooks. The anchor plaque is missing as well out there in the entryway of the school. I kind of got my feelings hurt. I haven't heard from any of you since that time, and I was hoping you'd look into it. I'm going to leave you these pictures when we won state and conference. Sailors. That was state. Western Conference. You can't win these like this anymore because they're all divided into different classes. Leave you a picture of the medals we got, but our trophies were thrown out. And here's the anchor. I guess I'll donate a plaque if we can put it back. It should have said donated by the class of 62. There doesn't seem to be loyalty in high school anymore, and you wonder why the kids that were made the schools, they're like prisons. What are we going to use? Razor wire next? We walked out in 1962 for our principal, Mr. Sherman. Going to leave you the articles from that. And when do you ever hear of students walking out of their high school for their principal? All you hear now is when they walk out because of murders. It's very sad. 1961 was a long time ago. I wanted to say to Mrs. Goodwin, I wish you'd advise the Lee County School District on how to run a good district instead of these tax increase that we're going through. I think you guys need to focus on the affairs here. I notice your teachers are getting disgruntled already from this Herald Tribune article. I'll leave it for you. They said they needed money, and I noticed in Manatee, that type of property tax, they were going to use it all for the teachers, but now they're using some for SROs. Shame on them. Now I want to leave you with some compliments. Mr. Robinson, I like your style. I really do. And
The only one in the room.
Dr. Bowden.
There's two of us in the room. That makes two of us.
Two of us. Two? Me, you? I don't know. Dr. Bowden, congratulations on being certified. I'll have to talk to Dr. Atkins about that.
Thank you.
You do more for students here than you do in Lee County, and I'm impressed. And I wanted to compliment you all on that, okay?
Thank you.
And thank you for the gift from the kids. I'll put it on my memorial to my late wife.
Aww.
I know she would have loved it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I see that you left your information, and we'll make sure that the appropriate
I'll leave
member.
it all here and give it to Linda, the secretary. Here was the Herald article about the pay and all that stuff. I don't know. You probably don't want to see that. And this is the ones we got, but why? I'd still like an answer from Sarasota High School. I really would. Thank you. I'm sorry I went over.
Thank you so much. Moving on, Dr. Bowden, do we have any additions or corrections to the agenda?
There are no additions or corrections to the consent agenda.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. No items have been pulled for comment. Are there any additional comments?
I have a comment.
Mrs. Brown.
Item 15 is the agreement between the Research for Better Teaching and the School Board of Sarasota County. It's following the John Safier's work, and 182 school leaders will take this training, and it'll give teachers evidence-based feedback that builds their capacity as high expertise teachers using multiple data sources to assess the growth opportunities. I think we're going to be working on strengthening our teachers, not coming up with brand new things to teach, but working on our teachers. I think that's a good place to be working at.
Very good. Thank you for highlighting that. If there are no additional comments, members, please vote on the consent agenda. and the motion passes 5-0. That concludes. Moving on to new business, I have item number 33.
I move for approval of the new job description for accountant payroll as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Are there any comments?
Yes.
Mrs. Zucker?
I'd like to know why this is a new job description. Is this a revision or is it a completely new job description, and where does it fall on the organizational chart?
It falls within Mitzi's department, and she's going to answer that question for you.
Hello, Mrs. Corcoran.
So currently in the Financial Services Department, we have non-degreed accountants. It's a generic job description. So it covers both accounts payable, clerical staff, as well as the payroll clerical staff. Unfortunately, when you look at the job description, you don't see a single thing about payroll until about the 16th item down in the list of duties. So every time we've posted this position that we have had vacant for the last 3 or 4 times, we get 0 applicants. And then when we discuss with them it's to do payroll, they don't have any experience doing payroll. So we decided to take the job description that existed, for which there is a department person out in transportation in that same job. So we couldn't take the existing job description and modify it. So we just created 2 new ones. If you compare it with the existing job description that's out there for a non-degreed accountant, it's pretty much half of the duties on one job description and half on the other. So it was just to separate it out so that, because my payroll accountants don't do any kind of bookkeeping type of accounting or paying bills. They pay our people.
So is it one person or 2 people?
Right now I have 4 payroll accountants in my department, and I have 2 accounts payable clerks.
And you have no job description for payroll accountants?
Not a job description just specifically for payroll accountant. It's just a generic accountant position.
Because normally it doesn't come to us as new positions under new business unless it is a new position. So that's what I was wondering about.
So the reason it's a new position as opposed to a revision, if it were a revision, it would fall under consent. It is a new job description because there are current employees using the job description, and so we didn't want to alter their job description, so we presented it as a new one, but it is in the same pay classification, and it is within budget.
Okay, thank you.
So it's not replacing, it's just...
It's not replacing anything. It's taking people who are sitting in a position and changing their
But
type.
while you're up here, is that the same for the next one?
Absolutely.
It's just the way it's been placed.
Because it's under new business.
Yes.
It's a new job description, not a new job position.
Right.
And it's not revised.
Correct. It sounds kind of strange because we're taking an existing job description and breaking it into 2 separate job descriptions rather than taking the one that existed before. I'd still have one new one somewhere because I'm splitting it
Not
into 2.
creating new positions, new personnel. It's just
Correct. There's no new positions. There's no change to the budget. It's strictly just making it a little bit more specific as to the work they're doing.
Okay, thank you. It's just where it's placed. When it's placed in here, then it means there should be job descriptions added to the organizational chart. So that's why I wanted to clarify what this
Correct.
was.
It's
Thank you, Mitzi.
descriptions for work, not positions.
Thank you.
Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, I do want to point out that doing payroll is almost night and day to just doing regular accounting. Doing payroll is so hypo-technical. In my office, the number one thing we get notices about is about payroll.
Oh, yeah.
The level of complexity when you start talking about the different type of retirement plans, the life insurance, the cafeteria plans, being able to figure out what stuff is exempt from, income tax, what stuff is exempt from unemployment tax, and trying to keep all those different things straight and getting that done, twice a month is a role in of itself. And so simply hiring people for accounting and then saying, oh, by the way, now you're going to do a payroll would be a culture shock to people. So I think this is the right move at the right time. So thank you, Mitzi, for doing this.
I was not questioning. I'm sorry. I was not questioning
It's just
the need. I was questioning the position and the placement.
correct. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will add that our payroll is especially unique here, so you really do need someone with specialized skills. There are no additional comments. If you could vote on the motion before you, if you have not already.
I think I might have. I did.
Excuse me. Motion passes unanimously. Item number 34, is there a motion?
I move for approval of the new job description for accountant finance, non-degreed, as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Any comments? Seeing none, members, please vote on the motion before you. The motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the next item of new business, item number 35. Is there a motion?
I would move that the school board authorize payment in the amount of $1,311,000.
Whoa!
$1,311.75 to the law firm of Hutton and Domenico, PLLC, as reimbursement of the attorney's fees incurred by Financial Advisory Committee member Gabriel Hammett in connection with his successful defense of a suit brought against him by Transparency for Florida, Inc.
Second.
The motion is second. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to get over the sticker shock there.
I didn't see the dot there, so I knew the numbers there.
There's a big difference. Motion is second. Are there any comments? I know that this, for clarification, and I know I'm putting you on a spot, but because this had come up at a previous meeting, and I believe it was also in the newspaper, I want to make sure there's a little bit of clarity on it, that Mr. Hammett serves on our financial advisory committee as a volunteer position, and that is subject to sunshine. There was a previous reimbursement of fees that was approved, and with it, I believe it's a statute that we would.
Statute provides that upon successful defense of an action brought, the school board shall reimburse reasonable fees. There was a successful defense in the sense that the lawsuit was dismissed. The individual was dismissed. Mr. Hammond was dismissed from the case, and the case was ultimately dismissed completely. So he is entitled to reimbursement of his fees. Perhaps the last one was a bit of jumping the gun because it was not the full bill. It was the first bill. As it goes, lawyers bill typically monthly.
Right.
And this was a second bill that had not been captured in the first one. So the entirety is about $2,700.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify so there wasn't duplicate efforts or if there were any questions. Thank you very much. So if there are no additional comments, if members can please vote on the motion before you. And the motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the next item of new business, number 36. Is there a motion?
I move that the
SCF Collegiate School Venice Charter between State College of Florida and the School Board of Sarasota County, Florida, be approved as presented.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Second. Are there any comments?
Yes.
Mrs. Zucker?
This is the collegiate school that I was talking about before, why we no longer have dual enrollment in our schools. And yet we have no choice but to approve this.
For point of clarification, if I may, we do still have dual enrollment in our schools. I know. I just want to. SCF it's just a difference in next year as to whether it be offered on our campus. That's just a point of clarification. Mr. Rock. Did you have your?
No, I was going to point out that this is you always have a choice. You could always vote no, so you always have a choice. I'm going to be voting yes. I voted against just about every charter thing that's ever come in front of the board, but I think that this is a little bit different. It's a government entity. It's not a private for-profit school, and so it's owned by all of us. So I'm going to vote to approve it.
Thank you. Are there any additional comments?
Yep. Dr. Bowden, would you please answer for me what would happen if we did not approve this?
Well, they have a right to appeal. We have accepted their application. And so following the application is the contract. Certainly you have a right to vote yes or no on any item that comes before you. Should you vote no on this item, they do have the right to appeal to the State Board of Education. I anticipate they would be successful on that appeal, particularly since we've already accepted their application, and any legal fees that they incurred during that appeal, our district would be responsible for paying.
Thank you. Thus, we have no choice but to vote yes on this.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, I'm going to support this because I really like this model better than I do dual enrollment as we have it today. I think we have some issues with the teachers on our campuses and with virtual school as being another mode of dual enrollment. And I think I know of many students several students in Manatee County who have chosen to go to their charter school and have done beautifully and have, really been very successful in their college career. So it's another choice. It's a way of parents accessing this alternative and perhaps saving money on a four-year college. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for South County, where we're getting crowded in Venice High School and in Northport High School. And I think it's also a nice alternative to having dual enrollment, which at Pineview, which I am not in favor of.
Thank you. As Dr. Bowden said, we had already accepted the application. I think it's a great opportunity for students, another choice that has been proven as Manatee, so I'll obviously be supporting this as well. If there are any additional comments, seeing none, members, please vote on the motion before you. And the motion passes unanimously. That concludes our new business. Mr. Robinson?
I just wanted to, I don't know if people know this, but the education community in the state of Florida lost somebody today. Dorothy Huckel, the chairman of the education committee, passed away. I had the pleasure of working with Dorothy for about 12 years now. I worked with her when she was in the State House. I worked with her when she ran for Congress. I worked with her when she ran for State Senate, and because of the way the term limits do, she's got to run for State Senate 3 times. She was an amazing lady. And I really enjoyed. I only actually got to meet her one time in my life, the weird as it is, and that was this February. But I had talked to her on the phone for 12 years before, and true to my form, she's the education chair, and so it's very busy, very hard to get into her office, and I just wanted to pop in and introduce myself because we've never actually met, like I said, and I just took a picture of her plaque. Standing outside of her office because the secretaries wouldn't let me get in because I didn't have a thing. She just texted me back and said, "Stop being an idiot and come in." And so I got to go into her office and finally meet Dorothy after 12 years, and she was a pretty amazing lady. Mm-hmm. So really dedicated to education, and she passed away today. So.
Thank you for highlighting that, Mrs. Goodwin.
Well, we really haven't talked about this, and I think maybe we should look to this in the future, but October is National Anti-Bullying Month, and there are lots of initiatives and things that go along with that many school districts are utilizing now, and I think we need to recognize that, and you can go online and look at some of the things that are available, posters and other things, and maybe we should look at doing something next year about this. But, bullying is probably one of the most insidious communications that our students face every day. It's either cyber, it's personal, it's in all kinds of flavors and forms, and it is debilitating, and it kills the human spirit. So just wanted to mention that.
No, both great additions. I will add my prayers and thoughts to the Huckel family as well. I know I had the opportunity to meet her as well, and she has always been a fearless champion of education, but specifically getting financial literacy for all of our children to be successful as they move on, and I hope that we can continue to champion that. And to Mrs. Goodwin's point, I wholeheartedly agree, and I know we do a lot of stuff in the district, but I think that absolutely if we can continue to raise awareness, because it is debilitating. It has been an issue probably in all generations, but it's only been exacerbated certainly through social media. And so whatever we can do to raise awareness and support our students, I'm all for that. So if there are no additional comments, I have some announcements, which I always put my paper away before I'm done. Next board work session is October 16th, 2018 at 8:30. Next regular board meeting is October 16th, 2018 at 3 p.m. If there are no additional comments, we are adjourned.